Hey, what's good? I should be on vocal rest, but I figured this was a really important video to get out, and hopefully it still is. So if I sound weird, apologies, I should be resting right now. Uploads might be a little slow going forward, but hopefully back on schedule soon. Recently, and we're back with Styro for this, recently, there's 4.0 teasers and leaks and whatnot, and one in particular caught my eye. I spoke about this on stream before, but I wanted to really kind of rehash it in more of like a one-on-one environment. And you can apply this to any game, not just HSR. So I've got my list of characters here because we do have some reruns, but it's about the Nova Flare, or buffs, basically. Now, here are the characters that you can get for free. It's a Kid Gifts login to claim, 1 of 7. And I want to kind of go through, and you've probably seen the title of this video or the thumbnail, I don't know yet, how to pick the right investment. Because let's be honest, we all know it's really difficult going, which character do I pick? Now, just in case you're wondering, yes, I do look handsome. And so do you. So here we go. Firstly, I want to kind of identify, I'm going to use me as an example, right? My account is pretty nice. It is pretty good, all things considered. We're not going to talk about, well, we will talk about reruns eventually. Because you got these, which Sparkle's going to play a big part in this, her being here on the triple rerun. Because you can also claim her for free. Now, this is going to be the shield unit. In fact, let's talk about Sparkle first, shall we? Well, actually, no. Let's talk about Daniel, Babette Lune. Yeah, I don't think he's good. I wouldn't recommend getting him. And that's because, even though, yes, he's very skill point positive, and going forward, Elation's going to use it, I don't see how they're going to go together. They're going to kind of mishmash and clash. So, unless you like the character, or, you have E1, you want to get out E2, because E2 is pretty nice. Sure. Jingy 1. In fact, let's talk about the 2 lightning characters. Well, 3 lightning characters. Because this is where I really want to get a deep dive into it. So we've got Kafka. And Kafka recently received a hell of a lot of buffs. And she's really good. The problem is with Kafka. Like, yes, even though Eidolon 1 is pretty nice, 100% base chance to increase the dot taken by the target by 30% for 2 turns. It's going to increase with your effect hit rate, which dot characters increase with that. They're trying to shill it once again. You probably saw the first rerun is Black Swan. And with her is Hysolins, if you can see that there. Now, Hysolins is another dot character who's basically Kafka 2. They haven't fixed the inherent problem with dot. They've decided we're just going to release Kafka 2 because Kafka is a pretty nice answer to dot. Doesn't change the core fundamentals that are the problem with dot. So, that's my thoughts on Kafka. Sure, you can get it if you like dot, you like the playstyle, sure, get it. But just bear in mind that you will in fact need, and this is kind of predatory, kind of scummy, you will need a Black Swan and a Hysolins, one if not both. Next, our General. Now, our General's a bit of a weird one because he keeps getting buffs and buffs and buffs. I'm going to be honest, unless you have E6 Jingy 1, I don't think he's doing it anymore. Because I have him, I have the light cone, not equipped right now, but just in case you need proof, there we go, it's on a Naxa. Clearly better. And if you go to the Eidolons, E1 is just Lightning Lord attacks. Now it's all the Eidolons, I believe, just support Lightning Lord. Yeah, Lightning Lord again. For each hit performed by Lightning Lord, regenerate 2 energy. It's not good, but his whole kit revolves around Lightning Lord, and Lightning Lord himself is just bad in this game economy. He just is. You have to wait so many turns. That's why Sunday's really good with him. But then, if you don't have Sunday, what are you going to do? And Bronya? No, because you lose the buffs. Sparkle is getting a buff from what I hear. And I believe it's 2 turns now, so that could be something good for the future. Okay. So it's getting a bit rough now. Now, Acheron. Now, the next 4 characters, the bottom 4 characters, are really nice guys I want to speak about. Now, I have Acheron, I have the Light Cone. She could be better, she could be worse. I can't recommend getting, or better yet, here's how we identify, is Acheron worth getting? So if you're like me, E0, S1, sure. It's fine, it will do, but you need 2 Nihility characters to get the most out of her major trace, which is, I believe, this one, the Abyss. Yeah, when there are 1 or 2 Nihility characters, 160%. is why on release a lot of people said you either get E2 Acheron to reduce the number of this to get the highest possible, so it's just one Nihility character, or she's bad. She's not bad, and they've got better Nihility characters going forward. We put up the filters again. Where was it? Here. We're going down to Nihility. There's a lot more now, like Fugue, Dahlia. I don't know why you do that. Zhao Q. It's just a lot better going forward. So E1, that is pretty good, and it does solve the crit rate issue, but it have to be debuffed, which isn't a bad thing because you naturally debuff in Nihility. That's kind of Nihility's whole playstyle. But E2, it gets you closer to E2. If you have E1, I highly recommend going for E2. Because you identified, okay, E2 is going to open up a lot more team building scenarios, but are really well and really good. And we can apply this to any, like I said before, we can apply this to any game as well. You can take Wuthering Waves, ZZZ, any of the big catchers that you play. I'm trying to blank off my head because, yeah. Next. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Jingliu. I'm saving Sparkle for last for one person. I know it's really annoying them, but I'm not speaking about Sparkle and praising them. So, Jingliu is another character who received recent buffs. Where is she? There. Now, this is her best in slot Lyco now. It's crazy to think about. They didn't fix this when they buffed her. It doesn't really work that well. But if we look at the Eidolons. Now, I think Jingliu's a fine character to get. Don't look at tier list. Don't bother going, she's tier 1. Ooh, it's just tier 0. Don't worry about that much. At least in other games, okay. What do you want me to say? It's HSR, it's Hoyoverse. Power creep is not handled well in HSR, and rightly so. It isn't an open world skill-based game, it is a turn-based game. And it's a lot harder to balance. That's all the justification I can give it. That's all the defense I can give it. Now, I looked at this, and I was like, whoa. Because when using an Ultima or Enhanced skill, now you might not know this because of the recent buffs. I don't know if it's going to show in the traces now. And if it does, then that's cool. Whoops. The thing with Jingliu now is she never leaves the enhanced state. Where was it again? Adjustment details. I believe it was... Yes, here we go. So, person 2 attacks, you do this enhanced using attack state. When allied attackers receive damage or consume HP, increases Jingliu script when Sidri. I can't remember where it is. Long story short, you basically keep gaining those stacks to keep using enhanced skills. So E1 has some fucking incredible value. More so because it's just extra damage. It's a skill of max HP. If you probably saw here, my max HP is like 9,000 currently. Paired with a higher seed, becomes 11, 12, 13,000 even. And it's just, there's a big damage jump there. You don't have to worry about this. I mean, that's kind of cool. But because of the buffs, she doesn't need it. So there's that. Now, Aventurine. I want to talk about Baby Girl. As you might know, or maybe you don't know, I love Aventurine. It's probably my favorite preservation unit, sustainer even, because I love to follow the playstyle. I even got the Lyco. Now, E1 increases crit damage by 20% for all allies with fortified wager. After using the ultimate, provides all allies with a fortified wager shield, whose shield effect is equal to 100% of the last one provided by the skill, lasting for 3 turns. I'm going to give you a TLDR Aventurine. You shield once, you skill once, you are shielded for the rest of the game. For the rest of that encounter, you're shielded. This just makes it so you increase that buff. Or you get another way to do it with the ultimate. Someone who released recently was Don Hong. We had a third Danny. Okay. Where was it? I believe it's the ultimate here. Yeah. It provides a shield to all allies. So that's just he's another character who just constantly gives shields, and it's really nice. Aventurine's big issue is, while the shields are nice, they're not really that big at the start, so you can get bonked in the face. At least this, going forward, ensures you're going to keep that shield more so. Because as it is now, the ultimate doesn't provide a shield. The only way it provides a shield is giving him the blind bet stacks, 7 out of 7, to then do a follow-up attack to give the shield. This is like a double shield in one move. That's insane. So the value is really good. Plus the extra crit damage. You pair that with, say, Broken Keel. That's 30% crit damage for having a shield, which you're always going to have. And these are the things you need to, well, not look at, because who's really doing that, but you can listen to, you can ask advice. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, because words are struggling right now. Now let's talk about Sparkle real quick. She's getting buffed. I'm pretty sure. Mostly because Elation's here. I can't remember the leagues. And also she's going to be on the banner as well. So it's a chance to, maybe get your first copy of Sparkle. And then, hey, you look at this. The Cypher effect right by the ultimate lasts for 1 extra turn. And we all have our allies increased. She might be the character I get for free for this. And for only one reason. I have an E4 Archer. Now, Archer is alright, it's just insane. He's, wow, still holding up to this day. It's been like, 2 patches and he's still, like, top of the food chain? Come on, that's weird. Now, Archer's big thing is he wants to constantly go turn after turn. And with Sparkle, this increases the attack. I believe Cypher, in itself, is really insane. And you probably look at this going, well, how can this apply to other teams or other games? Where was the ultimate guy? Oh, there it was. Yeah, recovers 4 skill points, or for allies with Cypher, each stack of the damage boost effect provided by Sparkle's talent additionally increases by 10% for 2 turns. That's going to be 3 turns, you get way more stacks. I believe the talent is capped at some point. Yeah, stack up to 3 times. So you keep it around. So if we go back to this, see, there's a lot of value you can get for any of the characters. Jingliu, Sparkle, Acheron, Aventurine. I don't think you bother with these unless you really, and I mean really, like Kafka. You probably do. Whoa, unexpected cut, I know. Hi, how are you? Now, I want to talk about ZZZ, because you said, oh, how can this be applied to other games? Well, I'm going to show you. I got, from the previous banner, I got, Yao Shuang Gong. I hate saying that name, I can never pronounce it right. But then there was a couple of reruns. Now, I did end up getting Astro Yao, very luckily, the next temple, but I got Soldier Zero, because I identified one of my problems was I had Trigger. But I didn't really have Trigger's best in slot partner, so I couldn't get the most out of Trigger. I mean, I was using Trigger on teams like Yishuan, Trigger, Nicole, or Evelyn Trigger bonus, Miyabe Trigger, Daily, I don't know why, I just thought that was fun. But now I identified I need Soldier Zero. And it was guaranteed. And just, what I'm trying to say is, you can kind of tell whether someone is worth getting or not. Like Astro Yao. Astro Yao would have been really good because of Evelyn and the quick-stop shenanigans. However, I already have teams, or the team is made, that are good enough. Like, how would Astro Yao impact my Xiao Guang Zhao Dialing team? She would take away something really good there. Or how would Astro Yao work with Miyabi? It's those kind of things you need to look at, identify. I mean, maybe, I don't know, Banyu, Dialing, Astro Yao is going to be really good. I can't wait to try that. I love this character. I need to play him more. And it's just things like Haramasu, Trigger, Astro Yao could be a really good team. We need to see, especially because of his recent buffs. More on him later. I've got a lot of ZZZ planned. But it's just, these are the things you need to identify and look at and go, okay, as nice as this new shiny thing is dangling in front of my face, is this going to benefit the characters I already have? Which, if we go back real quick, and I got rid of the picture for some reason, characters like Sparkle, Aventurine, they will impact your teams and your account way much more than these DPSs. 4 DPSs. Am I doing it right? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 5 DPSs. I didn't count Jingyu 1 as a DPS because his damage sucks. That's not to mention as well, like, you see Kafka, but Kafka has great synergy with these two units here. Evernight Jingaloo has some synergy there. Seridra, I don't really know if there's any synergy with the characters we got there, but Rapper, Sparkle, some good synergy, especially Sparkle. And these things are just, I can't stress enough, you need to think what's better for my account. In fact, let's go over to Wuthering Waves and I'll show you another prime example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so I would have liked to have showed you what I'm talking about, Wuthering Waves. Unfortunately, this thing's happening. So if you know what this is and how to fix it, please let me know, because I've tried like 3 times, got the same thing. Long story short, Chisa's currently out with Ameth, or Imeth, and I decided to get Chisa because as cool as Imeth looks, you know, big mecha flying around, I identified that I have enough fusion DPS characters. I've got Looper, Changli, Brand, believe it or not, you know, Galbrainer. I've got, basically, like, I got 2 main DPSs with Looper and Galbrainer. Changli, if you like, was Quicksop's playstyle. I didn't need Imeth. But with my Kartafia team, I had Kartafia, Chiakona. Guess what I didn't have? You probably guessed it. A good Aero Rover. And now I have a good Aero Rover with Chisa. End of the day, all I'm trying to say really is, let me bring back to the full screen. Hi, how are you? What I'm trying to say is, sure, pull for who you like. Absolutely pull for who you like. But make sure that you also pull for who's going to benefit in the long run. Because while yes, saying, oh, pull for who you like, you know, that's how you enjoy the game. What happens if who you like doesn't help you enjoy the game more in the long run? And it's just being careful about identifying who you go for. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Hopefully it helped. Hey, if it did, we'll share with somebody who probably might need this help, might need some advice. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. You know, support the channel. Let me know I'm doing a good job. And I guess we'll be back for some. Yeah, I guess we'll be back for some more content when my voice is better. And with that, just take care.